Okay, let's do this thing. Hi, Stony. How you doing? Yeah, it's honestly right now, if I had the choice, well, I do have a choice, obviously, but I'd probably not start the stream and just sit and watch maybe for longer. So there's my recommendation. Go watch maybe. um, no. Um, oh, I've got enough clutter on my desk that it's starting to irritate me. I'm starting to feel boxed in. Um, yeah, thank you for the stream this week, this weekend. It was good to come and hang out yesterday. I enjoyed. Um, I did a lot of lurking, um, for the most part, but yeah, it was good. And thanks for coming, hanging out in my fail streams. Although Gran Turismo, I really felt that I was definitely getting more comfortable. I didn't realize I'd done so few races either online, so that was kind of a good milestone. But yeah, last night I got a second place. Um, yeah, I do like when so I like to be chatty in streams because I honestly do feel that it helps with getting engagement. So I lurk as much as I can because obviously I get distracted as well. Um, but I also like to be a little chattier and see if you can engage other people. We are ready to tweak gazillion CSS classes unless you're using Tailwind CSS. We'll find out. I'm going to show a tool. We're going to use a tool today. So I'm going to see how this goes. And good morning, Harish. A good day. Assumption that someone's in the same time zone. Um, sorry, someone just irritated my nose. So yes, deployment. Deployment was oh, deployment of Liquid Sky worked. That was awesome. I was so happy to get that back up. Hi, Sally. How you doing? Um, um, developers.stream. I still have to contemplate what it looks like to deploy this thing. I think the Aspire tooling is definitely getting there where this is feasible. So I think that the Aspire tooling might be the choice to do the deployment as well. But I'm still a little concerned about the costs. So we might have to change out of our application. And as disappointing as that would be, I'm okay with that because I think it's representative, right, of someone trying to deploy an application. It's something you should take into account, and I didn't take into account necessarily. I was building the application I wanted to build, so I'm gonna pause a little bit on the deployment just to give myself some time to do the right thing. We're gonna switch a little bit to UI, see how it goes. I suck at reading, so not having many chats is a good thing. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I can be very chatty. Yeah. Okay, so right now this is developers.stream, right? Up and running. We can use where are you? This one, right? So what I've done before stream is I've gone in to UX Pilot. So that's different problem. Also, I should use the fact that I am streaming as an advertisement as well, shouldn't I? Oh, got to stop being scared of self promotion. I finally put live my, or I completed my video yesterday, actually while watching Stoney's stream. Stoney was building his application, and I highly recommend going and checking out Stoney. The application development is fascinating. He was stuck in a bit of a hole yesterday, but a great place to go. So yeah, and hopefully we can encourage him to stream a bit more. Lurking and working is perfect. There you go. So yes, technical debt as an investment. So I'm interested in the opinions. If you are in the Discord, please feel free. Even if it's this is terrible, you're terrible, this is a bad idea. I'd be interested to know what people think about it. So I'm going to try and put some more of these videos together as I have these things. I'm not really, yes, I am trying to guide a little bit, but I'm also wanting to see what the feedback and the opinions are on those concepts. Like, how do people feel about that? And is it infeasible, unfeasible? I kind of have to stream now. I said I would continue next time. Exactly. Get into a rhythm with streaming. Try not to break the rhythm too often. He says he's going to do that twice this week. But you know, it becomes easier. It becomes much easier to stream if you stream often. Yeah. But yeah. If you ever watch the video, let me know. Yeah, even if you dislike it, I'm not looking for compliments. I'm on in discussion. So, but I've got to learn to self-promote a little bit more. It doesn't come easy. So today I'm going to use an AI tool to 1 second. Let's do this. We're going to do coding display camera there. Okay. That should be back. Okay. I'm going to go full BRB for that one. I have a lot of technical debt. As you said, it's a trade-off and a choice. Yeah, the point of that video is more about making it a deliberate choice rather than just accumulating it, right? It's knowing when you are accumulating it and making sure that you put the plan in place for handling it, not just, oh yeah, we'll do this better later and move on. Because I've seen far too much to do, fix this later, to do, clean this up, to do, we should probably do this a different way, right? I'm saying as you go into the technical debt, understand that it will allow you to move faster, but address it later. So, and also make sure that you're describing it to the business properly so they understand that there's a cost coming down the line. So that's the concept there. So yeah, so today we're going to use AI. We're going to try and tweak this prompt. I have a UX Pilot license, a UX Pilot subscription. We've used this for a few other things right now, which I won't show. But interestingly, UX Pilot does not have a dark mode that I can find. So I apologize. So the way this works is you can select wireframes or hi-fi designs. So I'm looking for an actual design, right? I want something that's clean. You can use different models. So let's use Flowby. I've already started some of this. I've uploaded a current picture of what we've got so far. And now I've got to learn how to build this prompt. My issue is not knowing how it should be done. So I do it the way I managed to get it working. I know when I'm writing something sketchy, but I have to deal with it later. So that's kind of the learned uh, technical debt, right? It's the, you know, there might be a better way, but you don't know what it is. You don't know, and you need to do it. And then later, when you know the better way, then that's the second type. That's the when you have better knowledge. Um, that could be highlighting that. That could be, in that instance, that's, hey, we know this can improve this. Here's how it affects this product and this product. If we go back and address this now, we can make this product better. And that's what I'm saying, right? It's not just in your personal projects, you're going to make all the rationalization you need. So it's not aimed at, nothing I talk about or do is really aimed at a solo developer. It's aimed at teams. As a solo developer, it's easy to do that. Hey, Connie, how's it going? Thank you very much. 18 months. FE. How you doing? I see we both do FE now. What's FE? Why is my brain not working? Front end. Ah, yes. Yes, I'm now a front end developer apparently. Sorry. I doubt I will have more luck. Things like EF call queries, for example. I know that I should be using EF compile async query, but not all of them are accepted like that. I mean, that sort of stuff. I don't use compile async query. I don't use it. I try and abstract. Even in Liquid Sky, I abstract EF, right? I worry about performance later, and address those things and just organize the code in such a way that if that change comes later, it's not an absolute pain to do. And that's oftentimes the case. It's just good organization of your code will allow you to address things sooner and better later. It does make the queries way faster the second time after boot. Right. But again, I'm not, especially with Liquid Sky, I'm not focused on the optimization and the performance thing. And what it generates out of the box is normally, for the systems I built, has been perfectly fine. So I've never looked at that sort of optimization. But yeah. So, but again, it's a case of how do you organize your code? How do you arrange it? Is it painful to go and put those in afterwards? Is it risky? Because oftentimes if it's risky, that's when you'll avoid it the most. And that's yeah. So whatever you organize the code, and it's not like planning for the change and writing. It's not the same as the to-dos. It's just making sure the right plans are in there. If I don't do some optimizations every now and then, I would go mad dog food in my own software. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a challenge. So okay, so here I've got a product site focused on a central search with cards containing information about streamers matching any search criteria. Should use light blues and grey hues. A card contains the name of the streamer along with the name, the little text about them, and then tags that represent technologies and things they want people to know. A streamer may use multiple platforms: Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn. So let's go with this prompt first. Let's generate that. I've got plenty of credit, so I'm fine. So let's see what it comes up with. And I'm looking for votes here. If anyone's watching and cares to vote on the outcome of this, I'm happy to take that. This is a community product after all, or project, not product. So by turning on Flowbyte, the generation token cost is 12. If I turn off Flowbyte, it'll be 6. So it is much simpler in the regular version. Yeah, I'm a big believer of optimization later, and writing the cleanest code I can write now. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so as much as I don't want to do it, I've got to maximize this a little bit. Where's the search bar? So in this case, it looked like I accidentally dragged and scraped across and selected keywords. It's got the icons, but so the panel size is the same. It understands that I'm talking about coding, which is interesting. Copyright 2023 developers.stream. Interesting. Pretty sure I don't have a copyright on there right this second. Oh, hold on. Has it gone to the real site? No, it's not got a copyright on it. We're going to say there should be no copyright on there. You know what I didn't do either? I went through all the effort of doing, hey, I'm going to do. Also, yesterday, I decided to put that the other game stream up. I went and posted a link to this channel. That was funny. I have to edit the message and change it out. So again on self promotion. Yeah, this weekend I was streaming some gaming. How was my audio balance between voice and the music? Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I was also listening to the music as well, which was helping me do some development and make that video. Um, I mean, possibly a little lower on the music, but yeah, your voice was crisp and clear. No real complaints there. Yeah, like I said, I was also listening to the music. What I want is, if I was going to put music on, especially on this stream, I'm never going to put music on, but on the game stream, I probably want to put no, I don't even want that, but it would be nice to have the audio of the game fade a little bit when I talk, so it lowers it automatically. It's a cool work stream without a Pomodoro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I won't be using Pomodoro anytime soon. Okay, so this one is lacking the search bar. So in this, I can click in. I can go. Apparently, I can make it interactive. Oh, there's the search bar. It forgot to give me the search bar. Okay. Let's see if we can prompt and enhance the prompt. Enhance my prompt. Okay, product requirements, streamer search, purpose, UI components, search bar. There we go. Pagination controls. There we go. So you can have this create a flow as well. So if there's multiple screens that could be generated, but in this case, I only care about one. So let's see what the next one looks like. See, I did say light gray. That is not light. But you'll notice that color similarity if you've seen enough developers, Liquid Sky. Because some of Liquid Sky's layout is using tools like this. Well, it's using Claude for the most part. Okay, we're going to go with the same ideas. I have an outrageously unacceptable idea. Okay. So what we can do is, I think, we can. Why don't you draw the layout in Paint? We work together making the components with Tailwind. Oh, oof. Assuming I have any talent whatsoever. I like that logo is never going on this. Discord maybe. Why is it starting to pull in? Like, I'm actually gonna find other streamers. See, I'm enjoying using these sorts of tools for the inspiration, right? Some of the ideas they get, like the cards themselves aren't terrible here. I don't like the dark blue. It's like it saw developers and was like, "Whoa, let's not make this anywhere near light mode." I think there's a way of doing. Can I use as context? Let's do purpose component search bar. Search bar should always be visible and prominent in the top of the screen, in the top page. UI components, colors. Light grays and blues. Let's see what that does. At 12 credits a turn, we've got plenty to play with here. Yeah. So it's that actual. I know you're having fun and joking. But it's that sort of stuff that just I disengage with, right? I like building out the components and trying to put the layout in. And when I look at the layout it generates, or I generate, I just feel like it looks bland and uninspiring. And even this, to some extent, this is going to keep coming out with similar designs, right? If you use any AI tools for generating UI, it's pulling out generic pieces, right? That looks almost like what we have now. Is it bugging anybody else that the icons, like with what we currently have, I line everything up like that? Hold on. Here, I'm a geek. How you doing? If I can go any slower. So that got rid of the labels. It listened to me on this. So I'm going to try and take this, by the way, to the actual point of design. Yeah. So how do I tell it to do that? Right? How do we tell it to? There was a way of regenerating it, I think. So it listened in some respects. It lightened this blue. I like the idea of the panels this way, and we'll probably find some of these screenshots for this purpose. Paging, I'm okay with. That's probably something we need anyway. Oh. Put the title on the platform icons in one row and have the text on the left side. Yeah, icons on the right. Put the title. So I experimented with that in this one and having these. So you're saying having these up here, so the title is there. If that title's too big though, that's your prompt. Display streamer name. See what that does. Group 7. So if anyone feels they have a prompt, or I'm being, so the tools for UX Pilot are pretty interesting in terms of the layout. But so right now I've given it the image, and I've also referenced the context of the item we created before. So if this comes out with something better, we'll delete this one and reference the other one. If I turn off flow by, I think, or I remove the image, I can get deep design, which will give a lot more detail, but cost a lot more. I've tried to use an advanced AI to create the prompt for you. I've done that. So Mojo has kind of walked me through using Claude to ask Claude, to prompt Claude to create the project, to give it the instructions and those sorts of things. Yeah, I've done that before. Did I just completely ignore everything I said? It's completely got rid of the concept of tags. It didn't even include the filtering. Mr. Designer always tells me that my prompts are too specific with the AI to do its thing. He may be right. Well, there's a certain level of, you know. So I'm going to keep all these just so we can show we can kind of go through the iterations. Obviously, I played with this a little bit before to know that was in it, but I'm open to questions and opinions on this. So far I've learned on YouTube, putting things like monolith, deployment, Kubernetes, etc., gets a lot more organic or natural. Gets it put in front of a lot more people. My viewership on the last couple of weeks streams, like post stream, has been over 5 times higher than any video I have posted in a long time. Okay, so now we're back to the original. We've completely neglected the search bar. We forgot to actually remove the code to do that. Like, we copied and pasted the code and forgot the templating. So we actually copied and pasted the bug, although it did listen to me on these. It put my tags back. It gave me the filtering. It does look better, but we need to talk about light. I don't want that heavy a color. I think it looks too dull. Also, I need to go. Now I need to go The contrast is meh. Maybe that's what I'm actually reacting to and have no idea how colors work. I do not have an eye for this stuff, so it makes it very difficult. Mobile Dev Master. Not a thing. Okay, it's just making stuff up. Cool. I thought I was going to do developers.stream via AI. Like, just tell me all the streamers that exist. It's fine. Although one of the things that would be kind of interesting is if later on we get to this and we get the prompt, and the prompt is I want to find a stream that does this and this and this and this, and see if we can use that tool. So, you know, that'd be pretty cool. But you have to give it context. That's the problem. So how do I refine that now then? Let's feed this back in, use as context. Let's delete that image. So I think we're close on that. Colorful labels for tags. So I think it's just the fact that it's the way I'm structuring it that's the problem. Page of search results easily. It understood this instruction. Hey, Virtual, how you doing? Oh, and I haven't been there before, by the way. Annie is also a streamer. If you've not yet discovered him. Streams game dev and overlay dev, has also built an amazing library if you are interested in Godot for streaming, for integrating with Twitch in Godot, so you can do overlays and interactions and all those sorts of things, and has built out the entire subscription model. So yeah, doing all right. Just popped to say hi. Got some work to get done. Well, have a fun work day, Virtual. Thank you. Virtual has also started streaming recently. It's trying to get established there. So I did start replying to your message this morning, by the way, Virtual, but I will finish that afterwards. But yeah, Canny is an awesome developer, very knowledgeable developer, and has a really great and fun stream. And I highly recommend checking out Canny. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So if we feed that back in its context, what stops it from doing the same thing? Let's take search bar. A text field that fills out the entire top, that fills out the top section of the page and allows user to enter terms which to search, display streamer name, you invite a streamer, and let's do this. Should also have associate tags. Such. So what I'm doing is I'm separating it into two sentences, such as languages and tools they might use, or things people. Tags should be clearly differentiated from description. Let's generate that. Let's have a look at what Stony is. Video search. Dribble. Huh. Yeah. Huh. It's a nice UI. I like that. I haven't found dribble before. That's cool. Let's see. Did Group 9 do better? Oh, we haven't got there yet. Place your bets. No gambling. It's fine. Okay. Ooh, I think we found the best version so far, apart from the colors. That's cool. Where it pulled these from, I don't know, but that's a cool idea. Time for me to redo my UI. Yeah. Yeah, UI is hard. Okay. So, thoughts. Anyone got any thoughts? I think that's definitely the best version so far. I like the colors. I mean, it's as you can tell, it's got limited range of the designs it's going to come up with. I obviously don't like the fact that the for some reason the one line bottom bar is bigger than every other bar. Oh no, there you go, the game dev guru. Um, one line having 3.2K viewers would be very well deserved. Although I'm not sure the entire development community on Twitch is 3.2K. Yeah. Well, yeah. What do we think though? Do we like that? Do we like that? I like it overall. I think the background color needs a little bit lighter, but that could be changed. I like the idea of the platform. The filters, interesting. That would give people a way to just use a mouse and not have to type. Background darker and cards lighter. So you go the opposite way. I go lighter background, darker cards, but not. Well, I wouldn't change the color of the cards, but that's an interesting way. The extra row is a bit much. The this or contrast. Yeah, I think for me, I go lighter grey on the background and pop the cards out more. That's kind of my way, isn't it? But anything that looks better than this. Light shines on top. Look at you designing people. Um, light shines on top, so everything that is lower is darker. Hmm. Uh, can we remove that? Use as context. Let's see. Lighten the color of the cards. Three years every stream with AI. Yeah. Let's see if it'll take that and generate the same thing without the full context prompt, because I think the full context prompt breaks the brain a little bit. Made it to the gym despite sleeping in. Good morning, Delta, again. 5 streams in total. That's a good place. If you're not sure what we're talking about, can't praise enough. AOA help me with some of the Liquid Sky design as it stands right this second, and helped me get my brain around just a lot what it would do to align the design a little bit. And just a fantastic streamer and really interactive and friendly. Are we cheating with on our UX with AI? We're trying. Yeah, we're gonna. I decided to make this a bit of an experimentation stream to focus a bit on the UI of developers.stream. For reference, I will not be streaming tomorrow, and I will not be streaming Thursday. Okay, so it took the instruction. I think that contrast looks much better. It doesn't look as depressing, right? These pop more. He bullies that. He doesn't bully. He aggressively prompts. So we got the mission there. I mean, I don't think we need this bottom row anyway. I mean, we're not going to be doing that for a long time. I like the colors. I like the font. How do we feel? How do we feel? Overall, I think that's pretty good. As the experience of being a designer, and I have my passion projects and ideas for it, that clashes sometimes. Yeah. That's why. That's a lot of why I've tried to, with developers.stream, I've not developers.stream, Liquid Sky. I'm very much trying to get the concept of the application in there, because I know that I'm not going to be able to visually represent it the way I want to. But at least if I have the concepts in there, when I'm describing it to someone, they can build a flow that makes sense for what I'm trying to present. And I get that a UI can sometimes lead that design a little bit, and I'm okay with changes and tweaks here and there, but the core concepts of the application are not going to change. How I collect information, what information I might collect may differ slightly given the right UI. So it might have an impact on when and how I collect information, so it could have an impact on APIs, etc. But it's not going to really impact the application as a whole. So, yeah, that's why I do not spend a lot of time on that, because it doesn't interest me to do this stuff normally. And I think there are people who are far more talented at doing it, and I'd love to take a design and build it out. I actually have done that in the past, and I love doing it. Yeah. You need to fix the bottom line on one size. It looks awkward when it has different sizes. Also, the gap needs to be bigger, but this is fine tuning later. Well, this is if we like this design I'm going to take this now and see if we can build it. That's the goal. Um, core concept, Jira about it. Yeah, I want to do things that are not the normal thing to do, but I'm making my own thing because I can now do the things everyone else doesn't. Yeah, that is, but better. Or make your own app that solves a problem that you don't see a problem solved for. Right? That's um, like I don't think I would ever advertise Liquid Sky as Jira but better. I would uh um advertise it as uh product management product management done right. But yeah, I'll have to think of some taglines for Liquid Sky, I suppose. Phil, hello. That is not a great way to join the stream. I'm sorry, but I'm not coding anything. um yeah. APUXs. Overall, I like this. I mean, anything looks better than this. This child's drawing over here. But and other than the obviously the bottom bars, that's what I'll make. What do I think? I think overall, I think we'll remove this. Now, question. Right now, when you go into developers.stream, this is the landing page, you see cards. Should you see cards to begin with? Or should it all be search driven? Do you like seeing what cards would you show by default though? That's the question. Does it help to have just random cards shown when you have no context of, who's coming in there? Okay, live people first, I get that, but again, and obviously we are in the developers category, that's the intention, right? How do we also have to figure out the live thing as well. That's gonna be fun. Um Easy on Twitch. Not quite so easy everywhere else. It could work like Google but better. Yeah, that's what we're building. We're building Google but better 4 hours a week. Better, better, better. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I am doing self promotion. Wow, I put my media library video out a year ago. Mm, I'll share the link again. I know everyone's seen it right this second, but that's fine. Just that, right? Yeah, I made a video. I'm sharing the link with something else, so that's why I just pasted it in there. Yeah. So what do you think about me going on about shaders on online stream? It's fascinating stuff to watch. Um, it, the things you can do with very small changes are quite fascinating. Admittedly, I didn't get to listen to a lot. I was also doing some work stuff as well, so I didn't get to listen to everything. But it's cool to see that sort of stuff. Definitely. Um, it, yeah, the things that you can do with so little code, just manipulating from just a bunch of cubes to cubes moving to cubes rotating to coloring the things, like with minute changes overall. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, and I find it fascinating knowing that. Okay, Sea of Thieves, obviously their water is beyond anything that any other game had ever done up until that point. I think it still might be pretty impressive. But as far as I know, that's a shader. Um, but my brain does not comprehend how those fit into the rest of a game or whatever. How you use them beyond the cool graphics. How do you use them? How do you interact with them? How do you change them on the fly? Those are things that I find fascinating. Like, yeah. Okay, so I think this is our favorite. So if we look at the iterations, so we started up here. We got this bland looking thing with it looked like I'd randomly selected a bunch of text. We moved to this where it gave us a bit more color, put us kind of colored platforms. Um, bit random. We proceeded. We got back to what developers.stream currently looks like, almost with the white panels against the blue background. Bit too high contrast, I think. Icons at random levels, no tags. It lost that concept, but it did get a search bar. Then we went back and we tried again, and we got a bold, a darker back, a darker title, and pretty much that's it. Oh, we got some icons there as well. We got some emotes. Interesting. Then we went back again on the darkness. We got our tags back in. Our channels went up here to the line. It copied and pasted the wrong template, obviously, because it had the code there. And then we got to group 9. Group 9, still no contrast to these cards. And then we finally land on group 10, where a bit more contrast. They pop out more, they stick out in front of you. And I think that's the version that is probably the best. How do you feel? We're going with this one? So what I'm going to try and do now is save for Figma. And then Figma. Let me move that over there. I want to make sure I don't show anything I shouldn't show on stream. That's all. Okay, so plugins. How do I do it on the other one? I'm just checking something before I go into this, because obviously there's a little bit of a. But you can do cursor chat now in Figma apparently. This guy. Oh, they've hooked jam into. So how do I do that? So I've done this before. I've done this once before. So I've got developers.stream. There's a way. UX pilot. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So we click on that. And that should import now. Tell maybe about my app idea, barely food. I think it's pretty catchy. There we go. Okay, so we've imported it into Figma. Now this gives me, or should give me, the ability to look at the controls. So now we have an actual layout. Now I can, if I go back to UX Pilot, by the way, I can here say view the source code, and it will give me the entire source code for that page, including Tailwind. Which is pretty cool. I think I need the to do code out of Figma. I need to pay for a Figma license as well. But you can do this, right? You can bring this in to Figma. I could do the workflows in Figma. This is actually working now. This is previously had a bit of a problem. How did Barely Food go down as a product idea to maybe? But now we can pull these elements out, right? We can get color gradients. We can get all sorts of stuff. Whoa, how about that? It's trending before at school canteens. That's a different app. That's probably not food. Okay, so let's go back to UX Pilot. Let's implement. Oh no, let's actually go here because we can get the colors and stuff, right? Selection colors. The backdrop there is okay. Let's go over to here. Actually, let's start doing this. Development. Uh, fix that later, but I don't want to leave that lying out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and check out development and branch off development. And so development just doesn't have the Aspire pieces set up properly. But we don't need that for the UI, right? So new branch, feature, UI, AI, overhaul. So we're going to try and implement as close to this as possible in the next 40 minutes. Again, I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will not be streaming on Thursday this week. Unfortunately, I have physical therapy appointments right in the middle of where the stream would be on both dates. So, fortunately, the PT has changed their hours. that might continue for a few weeks. So, yeah. So what I might do is for developers.stream is obviously unaffected. Liquid Sky streams very affected. But what I'm contemplating is starting up evening streams for Liquid Sky, which I know that doesn't work well with people in Europe, but it does at least get me streaming there. Mojo, good morning. Okay, so what we're doing design things with AI things. We've used UX Pilot to come up with a design for developers.stream. And I'm going to rip it off. See, he even knows about this. Design, yes. Good point. This is using Tailwind. I'm using Bootstrap. Oh, pants. Do we switch developers.stream over to Tailwind? Let's try that first. Let's see what that looks like. So right now, everything in developers.stream is built on Bootstrap. But I suppose I could get UX Pilot to use Bootstrap, right? Flowbyte. I like the idea of bringing your own design system in. By the way, so you've got to someone's developed a design system. Actually, doesn't. No, never mind. But someone's got a design system. They've gone through all the effort of getting the design system. Then they're going to use AI to create the screens to save money. So you just pay a UI UX designer to come up with a design system. You don't actually have to generate. They don't have to generate all the screens and stay consistent. You just then use that design system to do the rest. I'm not going to admit to asking an AI agent to replace Bootstrap with Tailwind, but it works pretty well. Miss Shanhorn, good morning. It is already too warm here. Okay. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of pages, right? Layout, main layout. Not even that. Pages. Here you go, app.razor. Okay, let's see what happens. Lib bootstrap dist. So how does that get in there though? I assume there's no lib tailwind. I can only imagine. Aneth, hello. How you doing? Tailwind is amazing. You could prefix all tailwinds. No, we're gonna. I mean, we're changing the UI. We might as well do it properly, right? I'm just trying to get my brain around how. CDN probably tailwind. And also tailwind 4 is a thing. Started. Using Tailwind CLI framework guides. So they don't ever recommend using CDNs to use Tailwind. Interesting. Like the only CDN Tailwind suggests is for development. They don't say to use it for. Interesting. So let me make sure that I'm doing the right thing then. Including Tailwind CSS in. Well, it says in the docs there it's for development. Don't use it for production. In Blazor, like that. 7 days ago. NPX. Really? We're gonna start off with NPX? Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's the problem. It needs a config, right? You do not want the full Tailwind CSS file in your site. So how do you avoid that then? Because you don't build Blazor the same way then. I'm surprised Microsoft hasn't libraryfied this yet, like they've done Bootstrap. Okay, so let's go through this. This person knows what they looks like they know what they're doing with this. Run the following command in the root of your Blazor project. And also we have a web client. Am I gonna have to do this twice? Ooh. In terminal. Even in development, it's out the Tailwind config is smooth and clean. I just didn't want to figure out the debug config to run Tailwind every time I start the app. You can figure it in your layout if you really want to. It reads all your HTML output and then only puts the classes you actually use. Gotcha. That's why I don't actually make much besides code base generation tools because so much fiddly work setting everything up to work. You'll be able to hack. Yeah. Yeah, not wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna move. So I'm gonna share the link because I always forget to do that part. Oh, and I'm gonna move this over here so I can see it still. Anna has figured out how to do Tailwind C, so you have to ask her. We could do this. So NPX, okay, is a thing. Okay, so not that. NPX Tailwind CSS init. Init. Feel like I missed a step. Nope. So yeah, it's npm exec. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I get the Tailwind docs. Yeah, I'm just checking why they're using. Like this is a guide to how to install it in Blazor, right? I'm just trying to see how they do it. Blazor and Tailwind. Quickly try Tailwind CSS in your Blazor application. You can use Yeah, I don't want to use a CDN. Okay, here we go. What? So is the actual thing here? So npm install the Tailwind CSS. Is that what we're? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, right? So now I should be able to do Tailwind in it. No. You can go away. You can go away. If I remember correctly, they got rid of Tailwind in it. Not according to the documents. You may be right. My assumption that this person is correct, being that they updated this article beginning of this year and updated it last month, may be incorrect. But it looks like the flow regardless. Yeah. Gotcha. It was a v4 change. So this person, Tailwind 4 launched this year though. They just updated it. Okay, well let's go with that. Opening terminal. Let's do starting posted the thing. npm install Tailwind CSS at CLI. Yeah. Okay. So now add the import to your main CSS file. So app.css. Import Tailwind CSS. Run the CLI tool to scan the sources. Oh, so they still use a CLI tool. That's fine. npx at Tailwind CSS CLI. No, that's not going to be anywhere near where it is. And then, okay, now that goes in watch mode. Okay. So this is the tool that you're talking about, Mojo. And then that will produce output. Yeah, there's output CSS. Oof. And then we include. Does that automatically update that? No. So I have to include output. Yeah, I have to include output CSS. So it's just so that would be a case of making sure that when I run the build here, that I also start the watch of Tailwind. That's the trigger. because it joins them. I write my web front ends in Vue.js, which makes setting Tailwind up in Ruby Python necessary. There really should be something integrated for that. Yeah, Microsoft DevTools are not often very far ahead when it comes to this sort of stuff. I wanted to figure out how to run the CDN in dev, but I did Tailwind. Okay, so there we go. There's our Tailwindified site. It's amazing. Let's see. If we let's take a card. Stream a card. Let's go over here. Components, controls, stream a card. Got an organization problem there. That's for certain. Let's take that, comment that out. We're going to need to restart because it's comment out a bunch of code. What? I didn't copy the entire HTML. There you go. Oh, that's... don't think you took, did you? Unless that was one line. Nope. Yes, it does very much so. When you start playing with Blazor and you've worked in any other framework, I mean, I'm using Angular, right, for Liquid Sky. When you start doing this just becomes such a faff. Now, if you change too much code, if you change modules or rather you add components and stuff inside of Angular, the hot reload can do the same thing as Blazor does. It's like, no, I need to stop and start again, right? It can become confused, but it doesn't do that for the most part. Oh, so that's the header. That's not the actual card. That's why I was missing the content there. That's the actual card. Let's copy it that way because that Control C doesn't do what you think it does. Really? It's the reason I have no interest in using it. I'm used to the hot reload and I'm already annoyed by having to restart the server when I make backend changes. Yeah, one of the challenges, right? If you've done stuff like PHP and stuff, go into a language where you have to compile it and restart everything every time you do a change is ugh. This is gonna error. There are some advantages to other things, to other languages for certain. Ooh. I don't think that's quite what it should look like. I think we need a lot more context. Okay, so our results grid, for one, streamer cards, needs to look like... Oh, come on. It copies the entire HTML. And if I use their tools, If you control C in here, it copies everything. It takes 20 seconds for my server to boot up. And screeching noises. Okay. Page. Interesting. No, stop doing that, sir. Yeah. So at routes, layout, main layout, body. Actually, hold on. Let's do you did say this before. 1 second. Let's remove from app. Let's remove that piece because, like you pointed out, it includes everything it needs. That's going to make the page look very bland now because all the colors and stuff are gone. Let's just assume that didn't load properly. If you're interested in what I'm doing or scared by what I'm doing, you're more than welcome to check out this project. This project is developers.stream. If you think you can do better on the UI, you're more than welcome to take a dig at it. I'll take a stab at it. Dig. This is a fully open source project. The intent is for me to publish this as a site to help promote other developers who stream. Before you go crazy here, Tailwind works best when things are split into components. So you begin into big HTML in one file, split into pieces. You've seen enough of my code. I would hope that that is apparent. I don't like having large chunks of stuff. Yeah, I'm good with the components. Right now, the streamer card, the layout of the cards and the individual cards are components themselves, and that will just change as we go. Yeah, and I use Tailwind in Liquid Sky. Sorry. That's what you get for getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you running yet? You're building? You're doing stuff? Where are you? Okay, that's about as tailwindy as that's getting right in a second. So let's get the other pieces of the layout in there. So we need, that's our header. Let's come down the page, shall we? So right now that's what the header looks like. Why is everything wrapped in a main tag there? I don't get that. Okay, so that's that. But we kind of need this. What do you mean? What? So that's a open source version of the thing that Figma sells you. right? Yeah, that's way more. Appreciate it. Well, that's not quite the same thing, is it? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I suppose the AI is going to do one thing, this is going to do another. So that's what this tool gives, and that's what the AI provided. That's on the profile header. That's fascinating. That's absolutely positioning everything, whereas that's just using. Interesting. That's cool. That's but the problem's going to remain the same. I can export the code, absolutely. Clicking on the panels, getting the code exported, but I still need to put them in the right places here. So my process is not. So yeah, thank you for that tool. I'll definitely use that. Kind of want that to. This shouldn't be a button. So if I do div, that, that's that, that's that. But how do we do? Yeah, it needs to be a nav link, doesn't it? See how that does. Apply changes. That's better. It doesn't look great, but it looks better. Like, ooh. I like it. It's giving me all these. I don't think I'm going to get accused of any copyright theft of code. Of course, they're the same image. You're repeating it. So that's the header. Then let's remove that. Still need to figure out logout, by the way. That's a fun one. Let's get the background color correct. That's going to be an app. Oh, come on. Right clicking and saying copy is not the same as Control C, because Control C is overridden by the JavaScript for them, which takes the entire snippet. But I find the easiest way is to just drop the whole thing into one file and keep cutting out siblings of their own components until there is nothing more split. That makes sense. That does make sense. Okay. That's still not the right color, is it? Oh, interesting. Developers.stream stays there. I don't know if I like that or hate that. It kind of is pretty cool because it means the branding's always there. As like a watermark. What I could do is if on scroll, if it's not 0 pixels, kind of fade that out so it becomes an actual watermark. So even if someone takes a screenshot of the application, the title's there. But hold on. Let's have a look at this styling. That color is not the same, is it? Yeah, this behaves differently. Copy. This reminds me of Tuing, Tuiing, which is a tool for taking Tailwind elements and building controls out of them. So it like gives you the for Angular. So it builds the actual Angular component out for you from a control. Let's take this version. That's Liquid Sky. That's not going to do me very much good. Let's go here. Let's comment that one out. Let's paste that one in. Let's apply the change. Huh, interesting. So that one doesn't fill out the page because it's limited. So that's what you're talking about with the that put very explicit sizings on it. That's better. Let's take this piece. Yes. Yes. I'm still giggling over the irony of quitting Angular in Huff when they rewrote and required TypeScript in V2, and added TypeScript in Vue.js because they also got CoffeeScript support. Ooh, CoffeeScript. That was not a fun thing to play with. I did not like CoffeeScript. So the export from within Figma is giving very literal sizings, right? Like that is ridiculously precise. So it's not accounting for flexible UI. What did I like about it? Maybe it was the tooling around CoffeeScript. If I'm honest, let's have a look. Let me see if it's been well over 10 years. So like TypeScript, compiled like not superset, is it? Transpiled into JavaScript. Uh, so yeah, interesting. Eat food for food in foods when food isn't chocolate. Yeah. So that nails the color on the backdrop. But doesn't get the natural resizability. most of the goodness got folded into ES6 so it doesn't pop as much. Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of stuff in there that's now possible. It's interesting that that is... I completely missed the mark on the background. Because that's definitely got... Huh. I'm going to stick with the other one for right now. Because playing around with the sizing is going to drive me crazy. Not what I want to do. And again, if you would think you have a preferred design for developers.stream, you're more than welcome to commit it. There we go. Now the bar stays there. That's good. Cool. That's what we want. Pure script or bust. Okay, so and finally move that over there, by the way. That's I suppose there's a benefit here. Let's get so what is this one then? If that's OE 2440, right? If that's that one, which it says that is, what's this one then? OA1A2F, okay. So the way we do that, BG, is it the pound still? Yeah. Sorry. Feel like hexadecimals capitalized. Okay, that looks better. I gotta figure out these cards. So the streamer cards go to here. So there's the body, there's the header, there's a search, there's the filters, there's the results. That shouldn't matter. So that's the cards. So we want the thing that in the layout, pages, home. Ugh. Div class equals that. We've yet to have the discussion. This drives me crazy, by the way, just for anyone paying attention. I do not like having the code. This is why I don't get along with the idea of React and stuff. Because every time I see a sample, it has the code in the HTML. And I don't like that. I do like a separation. Okay, so we got to do more work on the streamer card itself. So why isn't that? There's actually no reason for that to... Why? Why have a bunch of see that? No. Well, that should be limiting. That's a big milestone in my essay generator yesterday. I can now generate a Rails project with database models defined and GraphQL wrappers with all the Docker composed nonsense from a single script. Nice. Huh. So it might have been dense here. So there's the grid, and that's a card. Right? Okay, that's just not. So that's that. Apply changes. Oh, you pasted in the entire HTML again. Okay, apply the changes. Okay, so we're clearly not paying attention to things. I find it fascinating that they differ so drastically in how they would produce them. But it's not even got the background color. We're not using app CSS anymore, so we're not doing any of this. So let's remove all that. You have to select your HTML. You can right click the element you want to copy by clicking copy out original. In the fascinating. Yeah. Okay. So app CSS was still providing a lot of the color to that screen. So what haven't I actually done? The theme. It's relying upon the theme. Also, the font is wrong. So let's just stop that running for a second. Let's go and stop that running as well. Really? Hi, maybe. How you doing? Welcome in, Raiders. You look so disheveled. Yeah, no shave. Tired. Been up since 5, right? Yeah, I probably should, shave and brush my hair before I stream, but it's fine. It's all fine. So, welcome in. What I'm doing today is I'm playing around with developers.stream, which is a platform or a site I'm building to help promote developers who stream. And if anyone hasn't been there, don't forget to go follow maybe. Maybe is a application developer, has developed Barely Fit, which is a really great health and fitness app. And I highly recommend checking it out. Just use a VTuber avatar. Nah, you get to look at this face. It's fine. Worth doing, much better than here. So yeah, developers.stream is intended to be a site to which you can go and try and find other developers who stream, right? Regardless of platform. You know, there's more than Twitch. Believe it or not, there is actually more than Twitch. YouTube discoverability is terrible. So the intention here is, you know, to help with those things, and provide APIs and tools to support people. And all this is open source. But what I'm doing today is I've been trying to see if the AI can generate a UI, because anything's better than what I can produce. And we kind of went through some iterations here. We started off with this that looked very dark and bland and just lacking any personality. We moved to this where the thing that bugs me the most about this one is it looks like I've just accidentally dragged and selected bunches of text. Never mind the random bundle of labels with no padding at the top, or the search bar that's not really a search bar. Progress to this where we have kind of the white text, you know, the white panels, and that one sits weirdly in the page, so it looks weird, but we get the search bar and everything else. We move forward. We somehow made the header. This is all while telling it to use light colors, by the way, not these deep, heavy blues and dark grays. Progressing again, we get to this one where we've got the icon showing up next to the streamer title, the text and the labels in there, and then we finally get to this where we've got the search bars looking fine. We've got the idea of filtering. We've got the labels and the colors are nice, and then we finally end up on this one where we've got a bit more contrast, and that's what we're trying to build right this second. So with my lack of skills with HTML and CSS being what they are. So first we get the card in and then see if we can get the colors in and then progress from there. Of course, you raid me right at 9 a.m. No, not what I wanted to do. It's made it your problem instead of mine. Absolutely. Well, that's promotion of this, I suppose. I made a video over the weekend of, and I don't make much YouTube content, so I've got to remember that I can use my own platform to promote my own platform. It feels awkward, but I did do a video over the weekend on technical debt as an investment. If you're interested, feel free to check it out. This is driving me crazy because it's not looking correct. I don't know what could go wrong. I'm copying and pasting CSS. Oh, that's why we need to go and get I wanted to try and get that profile in there. So we should have somewhere, right? That's what it's, add existing item. Does it add in? There is no, just chatting. Tailwind config. So that's why it's showing the profile the way it is, I suppose, because it can be added that way. So what I'm talking about here is in these tools, if I go and look at the code, we have this theme defined, which would normally go in your Tailwind config. So let's do that first before we call this thing. Not the app raiser. it copies and pastes the entire thing every time. Okay, so this sets the default colors, I think. Right, and then we want that. Enter. Let's run that now. Let's run that now. And we'll give it one more try. So unfortunately this week I have a Tuesday and Thursday appointment, so I will not be streaming tomorrow and I will not be streaming on Thursday this week. I will be back on Wednesday with Liquid Sky, which actually it works out because it gives me some time to do some other planning. So I'm going to move into a phase of Liquid Sky that is a lot of back-end development, right? A lot of figuring out the nuances of the notifications component of the application. So, or rather subscription to notification. So the concept being one of, hey, I care about something changing in the application. Please tell me about it in a daily email, or please tell me about it in a, you know, a weekly carrier pigeon message. Whatever communication method we can come up with, right? That's getting worse. It's actually getting worse. How am I doing this? How am I making this worse by the second? There's no styles in here. There's nothing in there. It's amazing. There. But anyway, it's 9:05. I have a full-time job to do. So I cannot hang around here all day and break my brain with CSS. I'm clearly doing something incorrect. Text white. Something is clearly overriding that, isn't it? But yeah. So pigeon messages, there's some public API for those. Well, I guess we'll find out. But so with Liquid Sky, my intention is to allow me to disconnect the method of notification from the fact that you care, right? So you can set up, you can configure your subscription to information and then say, well, for this particular type of data, I want to be told in a push notification. In this particular type of data, I want to be told via an email. I want a summary email for all these sorts of things, right? So really flexible in terms of what you get told when you get told it. The idea of Liquid Sky, again, is to separate out that management from the development team, so the development team can go off and develop without the constraints of fitting into what the management expects, but join in the middle to ease that pain and also provide insights for the management so that they don't have to keep asking people where are things going, because they can be told, oh, this thing moved, oh, no updates have happened on this thing in a month. So I'm going to move into that phase of a lot of back-end development for Liquid Sky, a lot of figuring out data, a lot of figuring out, how to, I've got to come up with a mechanism of that I can extend and say, hey, now I care about this. This field can be subscribed to, go into this UI and allow this field to be subscribed to quickly. So I can extend that system going beyond that. So, but that will be tomorrow. Oh no, that will not be tomorrow. That will be on Wednesday, where we'll talk more about that. I'm doing some planning over the next couple of days. So, unfortunately, thank you for coming in with Maybe Stream. I appreciate it. If you've not been here before, I appreciate you sticking around. But we are going to go and raid. I think it's an Anna day. I don't see. I like to try and see if there's other .NET streamers streaming around this time. Layla's doing game dev, but Anna's doing C# dev. So we'll go to Anna. If you can get your stream up, I will talk for a few minutes and we'll come over to you. Absolutely. If you want to continue the chain, I am happy to raid over to you. But anyone who's watching the stream, if you are a streamer too, I do not mind self-promotion. I'm trying to help promote, right? I do not mind self-promotion. I do not mind raiding into the community, right? And supporting other streamers. Yeah. So please feel free if you are a streamer, especially a dev streamer specifically, then it's always good to let people know, because what I do might not be interesting to some of the audience. It might be something about another stream that they like and they come here and they don't like it. I'd rather take people to where they want to be and the type of streamers they like to watch. So developers.stream, again, is open source. You are more than welcome to do that. I haven't seen him today. I assume he's lurking because he's busy working. But One Lion is another .NET developer who streams his work stuff Wednesdays through Fridays. He's a great developer and it's a great community, very supportive. On Fridays, he hosts a community day, which is a great place to go and hang out and talk about all things technology. On Friday, Fuel Snabble was in there demonstrating some shader stuff, which was absolutely incredible to watch. Mesmerizing even. Oh, I thought the dog was having a problem there. So yeah. We are going to raid over to Stony if Stony gets the stream started up very shortly. There we go. Okay. Let's go raid Stony. Stony is building his media application, building encoders and all sorts. Yesterday spent some time, a little bit more time than I assume he intended, working on that's fine. We'll go through pre-rolls. Working on linting. Yeah. So yeah. Also, don't forget, there is a Discord linked in the cards below. If you have any questions, thoughts, opinions on anything I do on stream, if you watch that video that I linked to and you feel that I am an idiot who knows nothing about what I'm talking about, please join the chat, have a talk. As long as it's not an actual personal attack, I'm fine. But I like to talk about this stuff. I like to understand my own opinions more and discuss more. So feel free to join the Discord if you're interested. But let's go raid over to Stony for right now because I need to get on with work. So thank you all for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. I will be back on Wednesday. Take care all. Bye all.